Hey everybody, KMO here, and first up an announcement. Tonight at 7 p.m. Central, that would be 8 p.m. for people in New York, 5 p.m. for people in California, for people in Europe, I'm sorry, it will be late in the evening. But I'm going to be talking with, somebody for whom I think it will be early in the morning. He's in Australia. It'll be tomorrow morning. And his name is James Fodor. He is a cognitive scientist, among other things, but he's also the host of the Science of Everything podcast. And if you just scroll through the list of episodes of that podcast, it is amazing the number of very, very detailed scientific topics that he explains in great detail, but in a very accessible way. So a very impressive young man. I'm looking forward to talking to him. And now, here I am in Arkansas. I have not lived in Arkansas for much of my life, but many of my possessions have been here for most of my life, including a lot of comics. And my brother wanted to use an old bag that I had stored a bunch of stuff in, including a bag of comics. So, I have not looked through the contents of this bag. I can see in back there's a couple of really big pieces. These are giant Star Wars comics, like the story of the movie. But I'm going to flip this camera around so it's looking down over my shoulder here. And I'm just going to go through this bag and we're going to see what's there. What the heck? All right. First up, this isn't from the bag. This is Geb, Greater Earth Betterment Bureau, issue number 2. This is a comic book written and illustrated by yours truly. I'm about to show you some really classic stuff, I think, from the 80s and 90s. And my stuff doesn't compare, but maybe you'll notice some stylistic influence. Now, comics, as much as I love them and as important as they have been to me, I don't read new comics anymore because they are about the worst entertainment value out there. You know, new comics cost like $5 for a single issue. When I started reading them, they were 25 cents. Look at this giant thing. Huge, large format comic. I mean, here, look at that. $1. $1. Now, check this out. Now, this is funny, to me anyway. If you're not familiar with comics of old, maybe the name Howard Chaykin doesn't mean anything to you. But he went on to do a series called American Flag, which was this very self-aware, very meta adult comic book. You know, it featured sex and lots of violence. Not sure if it actually featured much graphic nudity. I think maybe the sex was sort of TV type sex, but it was clear what was happening. But anyway, here he is just, doing work for hire for Marvel, illustrating the Star Wars movie. There's no way out, Han. Give me that gun, huh? This is some rescue. When you came in, didn't you have a plan for getting out? He's the brain, sweetheart. Hey, stop wasting ammo shooting holes in the wall. Anyway, great stuff. So, Star Wars, the movie, in comic form. All right, now what do we got? Some of you will be aghast. Many of these will not be in comic bags. The New Mutants, a graphic novel by Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod. $5. Oh my gosh. Really put out the bucks for this one, didn't I? So this just seems to be the origin story of the New Mutants. Sunspot, Cannonball. What was her name? I forget. Anyway, this got turned into a movie, which, on paper might have worked. It was an X-Men movie, baby X-Men, aka the New Mutants, but they did it in the style of a horror movie, and then it just sat in the can for years, and when Fox got sold to Marvel. Marvel just sort of threw it out into theaters without much fanfare, and, well, away it went. Oh, yes, the Hellfire Knights. In a while. All right, New Mutants. What do we have here? Oh, this is my registration to go to the Gen Con conference in what year? 1981. And I didn't go. Oh, bummer. All right, here's another Star Wars thing. I don't think it's the comic. I think maybe it's... yeah, it's a magazine with articles. And they're not even all about Star Wars. I guess it's like the influences of Star Wars. Yeah, like, so here's Han Solo, and we see... what's his name? Not Bruce Wayne. John Wayne. John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn, or Coburn. Played by Jeff Bridges in the remake. Anyway, neat stuff here. So yes, it was the 80s. I was a teenager, and I was into Star Wars. Ooh, check it out. The Micronauts. I read the original run of the Micronauts comics as illustrated by Michael Golden, a great comic book illustrator who wasn't in comics very long. All right, number 1 in a 2-issue limited series, Edgar Riceborough's Tarzan of the Apes. Beauty and the Beast. Oh, this is from a later era, 75 cents. So I think this is Dazzler and the Beast. These are comics that I wasn't following them regularly. They didn't mean a lot to me. I mean, my really important comics were in bags with boards, and they're, arranged. But here's a limited series, Machine Man. I think he's in the future. What do we have here? Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. The Incredible Hulk. Who is this character with the... I don't know. Here's one. Look at this. 25 cents, number 44, Marvel Superheroes featuring the Hulk and Submariner. A.K.a. Namor, who will be making his MCU appearance, I think, in the Wakanda Forever movie. Kull the Conqueror. So these are from all over in time, because here this is $1.25 per issue. What year was this? Kull the Conqueror is a Robert Howard character. Is it Robert Howard? I think so. Author of Conan. Let's see. This is from... Get a date somewhere? 1983. All right. And it is just Marvel Comics. This isn't Epic Comics, so you're not going to get any adult content, as it were. So here's one by John Buscema. Buscema is the penciler. Inks by Bob Wayek and Dan Green. Script by Bruce Jones and April Campbell. Anyway, an adaptation of a Robert E. Howard Kull the Conqueror story. I think it's an adaptation and not an original story with those characters, but I'm not sure. Anyway, cool stuff. John Buscema illustrated Conan the Barbarian comics for quite a while, so this is a very familiar style to me. All right. So I'm not going to open up every one and look through them. We'll just look at covers for the most part. Come on, get in there. There we go. Let's see. Oh, here's something from Epic. Coyote. I'm sure I would have pronounced it Coyote back in the day. Anyway, Epic Comics was a creator-owned line of comics that Marvel did in the 80s. Great stuff, but they made more money just doing the X-Men, so it was a fairly short-lived experiment. Incredible Hulk versus Quasimodo. Ooh, Turok, Son of Stone, 35 cents. Gold Key Comics. Remember Sea Monkeys? $1. Yeah. So I love just this newsprint. It's, decades old now. It's yellowed. 4-color print process. Very nostalgic for that. Turok, Son of Stone. E-Man from Modern Comics, first edition. E-Man had to stop. Then Brain and the Bomb or the Earth... E-Man had to stop the Brain and the Bomb or the Earth would die a violent and bloody death. Collector's item. Anybody remember E-Man? I don't really. I mean, I recognize this cover, but I don't know the character well. Adventures on the Planet of the Apes. All right. 25 cents. Well, look at this. This one's got tape along the spine. The Pink Panther from Gold Key. I'm not sure I actually would have bought that for myself. I don't know how that came into my life. Marvel Tales starring Spider-Man. Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and Captain America. Doomsday, 3014 AD. This day, Earth lives or dies. Perhaps the most titanic team-up ever in this, the Marvel Age of Comics. What do we have here? Marvel team-up featuring Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and Clea, although Doctor Strange looks like he's a, I don't know, werewolf? Something. Marvel Tales starring Spider-Man. All right, let's leave these off to the side or over here. Ooh, a Gold Key Star Trek comic. Again, 30 cents. I guess that's Kirk. Hard to draw likenesses, particularly over and over and over again on a deadline. Check out the Enterprise here, like exhaust coming out of the back of the nacelles. Yeah, they didn't have the internet back then. I mean, the proto-internet existed, but comics artists trying to draw a likeness of Captain Kirk and the USS Enterprise from a variety of angles, they didn't have access to that. All right. Ooh, the Marvel adaptation of the movie Dragon Slayer. Who's the artist here? Mary Severin. I don't know who that is. Never heard of her. Red Sonja. She-Devil with a sword. So, in the era when they tried to take her out of the metal bikini, so they put her in a blue onesie. Looks like something that Jennifer Beals would have worn in Flashdance. Oh, here she is again. She-Devil with a sword, Red Sonja. So this is issue number 2, 60 cents. By the time issue number 9 came around, it was 65 cents. I don't know who Orange Girl is here. Plot by Roy Thomas. He did so many comic stories, it's amazing. All right, look at this. The Uncanny X-Men, number 177, 60 cents. I think that's supposed to be Kitty Pryde. And there's Wolverine in his brown costume leaping at Mystique. That's what she looked like before the Bryan Singer movie. Yeah, that's Kitty Pryde's, one of her many, many costumes that didn't ever gel. Alrighty, and now Galactus, resplendent in his metal battle shorts. This looks like Jack Kirby's work. So, The Mighty Thor, number 226, 25 cents. And on the interior, no, it's John Buscema. I guess just sort of aping Kirby. Oh, now this is interesting. Grand Slam Magazine. This is the magazine of the Kansas City Royals. My dad was a baseball fanatic. And So I went to many Royals games when I was a kid living in Kansas City. I was a senior in 1985 when the Royals won the World Series. That was senior in high school, I should say. That was pretty cool. So here's just a magazine devoted to the Kansas City Royals. And yeah, this is these are the players I remember. Darrell Porter, he was the catcher. Frank White, Paul Splittorff, Dennis Leonard. Yeah, whoops. Anyway, 60 cents. And here's another Kansas City Royals. Ooh, this one was $2. It's their 1979 photo album. All right. Well, I'm not going to flip through that. All right. That's it. Just kind of a... Again, these are not comics that were precious to me. These are just sort of miscellaneous things that ended up in a bag. That my brother decided he wanted to use that bag, so he put the contents in a grocery store bag and brought them over to me and said, "Here." All right, that is all. Give me something to talk about, and I'll talk about it. Talk to you later.